Hello and welcome to the TrashHole podcast, the worst podcast on the fucking internet. Mostly because I don't put it on SoundCloud or anywhere else. I just upload it to YouTube because I'm an idiot. Anyway, we're going to be introducing some people here because every podcast does that and it's completely necessary. First up, it's me. I'm Brendaniel. I'm you know who I am. Why are you on my channel if you don't know who I am? What the hell is wrong with you? Next up is Stebby.
Hey, it's me again. It's the third time I'm here. Long time pod boy.
And Seabuff.
Hi.
And Frezzy.
Frezzy? Hi, Ezekielu. I do anime parodies. I edit
Nobody
for
cares. Frippy.
Nobody cares.
Hey guys, it's me.
Hey, alrighty. So this is the TrashHole podcast. This is the podcast where I say podcast a lot. It makes a lot of sense. Podcast. So first off, I want to talk about how mad I am about the new Harry Potter book.
Again?
Again,
Yeah,
I know I made a 20-minute long video about it, but I
But
have
that's
to
just
say
not enough.
it's
I
not
mean,
enough. They made
you
the
skipped
fucking they made the fucking trolley witch a goddamn fucking train goblin. They made the
What about-
Harry Potter trolley witch a train goblin.
Yeah, why
What a-
not?
What about the plot point where they have to cock block like 3 different people?
They do. They just cock block 3 different people because time travel. They cock
They
block
have to
Ron.
Even though that's not how time travel worked.
They
in the
cock block
third
Hermione.
film.
No, they changed it
cock-block
because Harry.
Voldemort.
They cockblock Voldemort because Harry found a magical time turner that was even more magical than the other time turners because magic. While I do
Because
respect,
magic.
I do respect and I do understand magic as an excuse. I don't like science as an excuse. You can't just do the same thing that you do with magic that you do with science. You can't just be like, why does this work? Because science. I mean, magic isn't real, so of course you can say, why does this work? Because magic. You know, you can get away with that, but you can't just you can't define something like the bounds of something in magic and then just break that because more magic. I feel like once you set something in stone in your universe, in your fictional universe with magic, that rule is kind of law unless you find a way to produce enough quote unquote like power, I guess, to break that law. Whereas like science, there are already like defined possibilities. I mean, if it's science fiction and it's kind of like pseudoscience, I guess you can get into like a bunch of specifics, but I like it more. I like the magic. Just magic explanation a lot more. I feel like BioShock Infinite could have gotten away with that a lot better if they had just said, why do these things fly? Magic. But instead they wanted to say quantum particles inside the magic balloons are fucking keeping them afloat because quantum particles are and they never
Bunch of
explain it.
magic racists.
Yeah, well, they never explain how the vigors work. Really, there's like vigors. There were fucking powers in the last video game, so there have to be powers in this one because reasons. Science. Yes.
Well,
science.
yeah, but like if they didn't feel like like not even pressure, no one expected them to fucking explain shit, but they did it anyways.
They tried to explain it with like pseudoscience, and that pissed me off. When they could have just gotten away with saying, "Why does this work?" I don't know, magic, science,
They
science,
could have
magic.
they could have just gotten away with just being like, "Oh, hey, this is a thing. Don't question it."
Yeah, I know sometimes in fantasy worlds they try to explain something and it just ends up making it seem more ridiculous because usually when you're reading something or watching something or playing a video game, when they introduce a concept and they don't explain it and it's like, yeah, they're fucking flying trees that everybody rides. Okay, cool. You know why they fly? No, I don't, because they come from a magical grove where quantum particles are stuck inside the trees as they get born into tree flying, and then they go up into the fucking sky, and it works. It all works. It just works.
It just works.
It
That
just
just reminds me
works.
of the thing that I just started reading called Sweet Guy, where this dude puts on like this really dumb like Russian invention that's supposed to like exercise your abs to make you like really like, oh, I got abs now. But he gets electrocuted and he gains this power that if anyone touches him, they get sexually aroused. And there's a Russian scientist that's trying to like come up with an explanation for it. But meanwhile, this little small nerdy Korean kid's fucking all these different women. It's hilarious.
Are you sure you weren't like watching, like porn?
Yeah, were you just watching porn and
Nope.
you got confused and you thought you were
Nope,
reading
it's
manga?
it's a Korean manga.
No, you thought you were reading.
Korean
You were
comic.
watching some Pizza Boy porn and you accidentally slipped, fell on the floor into a manga.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's a big Korean manga that everyone's like raving about right now.
I don't care.
It's
I'm not
just-
raving
I'm
about
pretty-
it.
Hilarious.
Are you sure it's manga? Because there's like another
No.
word for the written medium.
No, it's a Korean
hentai.
comic.
Ah,
No,
yes, the
it's a
hentai.
Korean-
Are you sure you weren't
No.
just reading hentai and you slipped and you fell into some actual manga? And you hit your head?
What did he
You-
fall into like a puddle of manga?
No, just look it up. It's called
He's
Sweet
just
Guy.
fucking, as he's walking around town, and he just fucking slips and he's like,
that's your
oops,
first
I
mistake.
just fell.
That's your first
No,
mistake. I
I
never
was
leave my
thinking, like-
house.
As he's,
I
as
was
he's,
thinking
wa-
like I was thinking like he's sitting on the pot and there's like a puddle of manga just like in his bathroom.
oh shit, man, I just fell into this puddle of Japanese literature. Golly gosh darn, I wish I hadn't done that.
Oh, Jesus, fucking everywhere. It's in every crack.
Yeah,
That's a Ghostbusters
That's
joke.
ridiculous. Let's get back to the Cursed Child podcast.
Okay, so yeah, the Cursed Child podcast. Mostly I don't like how they break rules already defined in the series because time travel, you know, and that's something that you see in a lot of media. And Doctor Who is the biggest one. I think I talked about this in my video, where Doctor Who, they just get away with anything. They just get away with anything because time travel. You know, they don't do a lot that relates to time travel that breaks the laws. But spoiler for fucking Doctor Who, if you care at all about Doctor Who, in the latest
think
season.
anyone does.
Well, all right, some people do, and some people haven't caught up. And I've been watching it because my girlfriend still likes it. So fuck me right. I'm a Whovian. Please take a shotgun and put it into my
Like
mouth.
Dr. Pooh.
Oh man, pull the trigger.
Joke.
Pull the trigger. Pull the
All
trigger.
right, here I go.
Anyway, as I was saying, the last season of Doctor Who, it ends with basically this fan fiction style ending where the companion for the Doctor is fucking dead, but he pulls her from the point in time right before she died, like the split second that she died, he pulls her out because a lot of power from the Gallifreyans, he pulls her out of that moment in time and fucking goes gung-ho on his home planet and freaks the fuck out and just takes her and goes into space. By the way, there's this immortal girl that he accidentally created, and she is played by the actress who plays Arya Stark, and they go to the end of time, the very end of time, and they're on Earth, and Earth is decaying, and Arya Stark is sitting there, and her name is Me. Her name is Me because she can't, like...
Her name is Brendaniel.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up, Ezzy. Her name is M.E. because me. She's me. Not me, but she's
Oh, so
herself.
when you kept saying Arya, I kept thinking you were saying Zarya.
No,
Her
not...
name is
Shut...
Oh,
This is...
welcome to the Overwatch podcast.
No, no, no.
Brendan, edit in the confetti. Edit in the big air horn.
You really think I'm gonna do all that fucking work for a shitty Brendaniel podcast?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm not. Anyway,
Everyone says.
okay,
yes.
so fucking the Doctor has this thing that'll make her forget about him, and then she'll go live her own life and be okay. And she actually stole a thing that'll make the Doctor forget about her, and then they stab each other, and he misses, and he forgets about his companion, and then his companion and Arya Stark travel through time in a different stolen TARDIS that's turned into a diner. You know,
This
so
really does sound like
What?
the world's biggest fan fiction.
so like Claire is alive even though she fucking died because the Doctor magically took her out of her place in time the second she died.
Be like Blizzard. If you don't like it, retcon it.
I understand retconning. I'm okay with retconning. I'm okay with retconning because it's literally them taking an established universe and coming out of that universe and saying, hey, we realize what we're doing is fucking stupid, or we don't like this, so we're going to step back and take some shit and say, no, we're going to throw that away. That's the creators stepping in and with a big fucking eraser and saying, no. Pulling out their fucking pen and saying, this is how it happened. This is like
much
in
retconning
universe.
going on right now in the Warcraft lore.
I
You have
literally
no
don't
idea.
care. I literally,
care.
I quite literally do not care.
I actually
about
have
Warcraft.
not a care in the world about Warcraft. Warcraft 3 was one of my favorite games ever, and I loved Arthas, and I loved the Lich King story,
Well, who doesn't?
but I don't care about World of Warcraft. World of
I
Warcraft
don't.
is a bad game.
Every game is
No.
bad.
World of Warcraft,
No,
World of
like
Warcraft
MMOs.
in particular. MMOs are bad because they're just grindy.
Yes.
They're grindy and not fun. I don't know. I've never really found an MMO that I like. All of them have just kind of been like,
Yes.
grind to live to grind to live to grind. They remind me of the
Live
Tony Hawk
to
games.
win.
Get it?
Good job.
Right.
When
Ha,
are we
ha.
getting our Tony Hawk
Skateboarding.
MMO?
What? Oh, dude,
Skateboard.
grinding on a Tony Hawk MMO. That's fantastic. Oh, I didn't even think about
Oh,
that.
you mean
We just
fucking?
make a
Grand-
Tony Hawk MMO
wait,
so
I
we
was
can
gonna say
make
Grand
that
Theft Auto.
joke.
It's just they don't have enough money for more models than just Tony Hawk. So it's just Tony Hawk in various different shirts, and those are the classes.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here
You can
we
play
got
as young
the
Tony Hawk.
grinder.
You can play as young Tony Hawk, medium Tony Hawk, or old Tony Hawk.
But
Old-
see, the thing
old
is,
Tony
it's
Hawk has
not
a
even
gun.
Tony Hawk.
Oh, I
It's just
see.
He
Tony
has
Hawk
a gun
impersonator.
that heals
Old-
people.
Young Tony Hawk is just normal Tony Hawk, but he's wearing a diaper.
They made the model smaller too.
Like just
Just-
like
just
a
a
head
couple-
length,
Yeah.
just one head length shorter. Who gives a shit?
Oh god.
Fucking- Hey, this podcast is endorsed by Tony Hawk. Ride the Hawk.
Ride the.
Ride
This
my car.
this podcast is endorsed by Tony Hawk Skateboards. Ride 'em or die. Literally, I'm
Hey
gonna
guys,
fucking
it's
I'm gonna
me,
fucking
Tony
kill
Hawk. Remember to ride.
Holy shit! There he is.
you. There he
Hey
is.
guys, it's me,
Oh shit!
Tony
Hey.
Hawk.
Hey Tony Hawk, I have a
The
question.
muscular
When I put
ocean.
in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and it skipped, was that supposed to happen on my PlayStation 1?
Yes.
Nice, dude. I thought that was what was supposed to
Hey.
happen. It was
What?
immersion.
If you read the manual, you would know you were supposed to take the disc out and eat it.
Dude, see, I totally thought you were about to
That
say
way
you should
you
read the
could
Tony
become-
Hawk Pro Skater 3 manga.
That too, coming
You
out
should-
September
11th.
37th.
September 11th to a puddle
2001.
to a manga puddle near you.
That's gonna be. I'm just gonna open up a fucking shitty Japanese shop when I quit YouTube, and it's just gonna be called Manga Puddle, and no one's gonna come there because all the books are gonna be unalphabetized and just on the floor. And you have
And
to
also
step
wet.
around it,
Japanese.
and also wet. Like some of the books are in
Couple of
Ziploc
pages
bags.
Missing, a couple of pages missing.
She's
You'll
kinda
come to the
down.
counter.
Homer sticky.
You'll come to the counter and I'll just be like, yeah, I stole all these books from children. Yeah, half of these aren't even manga; they're just Dr.
Yeah,
Seuss
just
books.
beat up the local nerds.
Love that Dr. Seuss manga where he kills God.
I like that Dr. Seuss manga where he tells me he has surpassed Green Eggs and Ham.
Dude, Cat in the Hat is my favorite anime.
What about Cat in Two Hats?
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Oh,
Cat in the Hat
shit.
comes back.
What about
This-
one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish?
What about One Fish Man?
one fish man?
Okay, all right.
One fish.
So done about the Harry Potter book. I'm still mad about it. It's still shit, and I'm angry.
We're talking about the Harry
Set.
Potter book.
Yeah, at some point, No Man's Sky is a video game that came out, and a lot of people are disappointed, and I'm not surprised.
More
Haven't
like no
played it,
man
don't
by.
Oh man, nice stealing someone else's joke, Ezzy.
Hey, he said no guy by.
Okay, all right,
Oh,
yep.
I'm just gonna not pay attention because I've not played No Man's Sky, nor do I
I've
care.
only been watching
No
streams
one's-
and I'm
no
not
one's-
impressed.
I mean, only 5 people have played No Man's Sky, and they all think it's shit. So hey,
I am still getting it on PC, mostly because I know what I'm getting out of it, and a lot of people didn't understand what they were getting out of it because Shaun Murray was doing some Peter Molyneux level of dodging questions.
Oh.
If there was an Olympics for dodging questions, Shaun Murray and Peter Molyneux would be going head to head right now. I feel bad for him, but I don't at the same time because the way they discussed, the way he talked about his game in public was just fucking so cryptic and stupid. Like, I understand the need to be silent on some aspects of your game so you don't ruin things for people, but being cryptic just for the sake of being cryptic is fucking stupid. I think you should be very straight with people when they ask you questions. You can hide some things and not talk about some interface and stuff. But when it comes to games and when you're talking about a fucking video game or a movie or a book that you're coming out with, you got to just be honest. You can't like fucking dance around pretending like, oh yeah, maybe multiplayer's coming. And I believe he's said in the past that there's going to be multiplayer to it.
It was like a co-op thing, yeah.
And it was like a co-op thing, and it's like, you can't just fucking, if you're going to go back on your word, just man up and fucking say.
Don't make the word.
Yeah, and well, no, either don't say it or man the fuck up and say, hey, I was wrong. We couldn't get co-op or multiplayer into the game. Don't string people along, because I've known for months that No Man's Sky wasn't multiplayer, because after a while they stopped talking about any multiplayer things, and Shaun Murray started being like, well, and I was like, oh, so No Man's Sky is single player, and that's what I expected, and that's what I want. I literally just want an extremely chill, like, space simulator game. All I want is from No Man's Sky is to fly around in space and find some fucking planets, because I personally am sick of games like Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen's coming out eventually. I don't like sims like that where it's overly complicated to fly your ship. I just want something chill. I want to be in a spaceship, I want to be chill, and I want to explore planets. That's all I want in No Man's Sky, and that's all I'm going to get, and I will probably be happy with my purchase. But a lot of people aren't happy because they expected like the second coming of Minecraft or the second coming of the survival game genre, and that's not what they got, and they're mad now. They're mad about it.
It's the exact same effect as Spore was way back when. Like, it was promoted as this really big experimental high scale thing, but it's not.
Yeah, like
it's
like
a very simple
God.
game.
I feel like part of that is because Sony dedicated time to marketing No Man's Sky, and Shaun Murray got dug into a small hype hole, and then they kept digging that hole. And I do feel bad for him in some aspects, because he fucking dug himself into this hole that he can't get out of unless he comes out and says, hey, this is literally what our game is. Sorry for stringing you along. This is what our fucking game is. He needs to have a fucking video or an interview where he just sits down and says, this is what our game is. This is what the video game No Man's Sky is and what it is about. You have to be clear with people on this, because if you say anything that can be misconstrued, people are going to jump down your fucking throat, and they're going to rip your ass apart. They're going to just tear your asshole a new one, because hype is a fucking disgusting monster. I don't get hyped about video games anymore. I do not. I refuse to, because so many times you get into this giant cycle of hype with a game, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and all it leads to is disappointment. The game can hit almost every point for you, but on some aspect, and this is just games in general, not No Man's Sky, a game can hit every point for you, but someone out there is going to be disappointed because the game didn't hit every single point they wanted, and then they're going to be pissed about the purchase, because the hype machine is a goddamn monster that kills enjoyment and kills fun. You know?
Well, it's been proven again and again, especially with any sort of crowdfunding games.
Just
like they're building up hype so they can get your money. Like, that's straight up it.
See, that's a different, like, I'm talking about hype trains that go out of control. Like, mostly like hype
I
for
mean, that's most AAA games though.
Yeah.
No game will ever live up to the hype.
No.
You just have to accept that.
Overwatch lived up to my hype. It lived up to my expectations, but it didn't live up to everybody's.
It certainly didn't live up to mine.
I feel like it's a.
I
hate saying it.
It's a great game.
I hate saying it, but that feels like, hey, letting the hype take control of you. That seems like a personal issue, like on person to person.
No, that is a person to person issue. It's me saying specifically to people who get too excited about games. I am saying to the general audience here, if you get too excited about games, don't get too excited about games. I've worked at fucking retail in a game store for 3 years now. 3 years now, actually. This month was my 3-year anniversary, and I want to shoot myself in the fucking head. What I've learned is don't get excited about games. Don't do it. You can have some mild, like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm kind of pumped, but don't get like so excited that you're on the edge of your seat constantly about a video game, because you're just gonna get your hopes and dreams crushed. No matter what game it is, you're gonna get your hopes and dreams crushed. Be reserved with what you want to do and what you want to feel. Try to be reserved. I know that feelings are something that some people can't control. They can't control their excitement, and sometimes you just get stuck in this loop of, holy shit, yeah, I'm so excited. But all you're doing is setting yourself up for disappointment. And for some people, this is just like I want to say like I'm lecturing, and I don't want to be lecturing. I'm just saying, please don't get too excited. If you want to be excited, that's fine. That's cool. I'm just saying, don't do it. I know that's a shitty thing to say, like telling people not to do something that they may or may not be able to control, but just don't get excited about video games. Don't do it. You know, you don't have to be like a cynical jackass about it. You don't have to be critical about every fucking video game that comes along, because then you're going to be an asshole. Don't be a fucking asshole about games. Don't critique a game every single time you fucking play a game. Don't sit there and critique it piece by fucking piece, because no one wants to hear that shit. No one wants to hear you be a jaded asshole about the fucking video game you're playing, you know? And I've done that before. I've been a fucking jaded asshole about video games. I think a lot of us are guilty about like tearing apart apart a game piece by piece and killing the enjoyment of it for others. Don't do that either. Find a middle ground. Get excited, be happy, and be mad. If a game doesn't live up to what you want it to be, you can be mad about it. That's okay. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be excited. I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up when it comes to any video game. A lot of pieces of media. Don't get too excited, because you're just setting yourself up for a colossal fall. Just a big old fall down and smash. There we go. I said my piece.
Just be ready to be disappointed by everything.
Yep.
So
all
that's
the
enough
time.
of Life Lessons
Yep.
podcast.
Become a nihilist.
Yep.
Be nihilistic about everything.
Nihilist. A nihilism. Welcome to the Nihilist podcast.
Welcome to the Nihilist podcast. I'm going to cancel it right now and delete this audio file.
Here we go.
There you go.
Okay, Brendan.
Yeah.
Speaking of being hyped for video games and not doing that, Strafe.
Strafe.
You
I
got to play that.
I
at
got to
Quakecon.
play Strafe. I got to actually
Ooh, segue.
experience it. Strafe is a game that I am excited for, tentatively, but I got to actually try it out at QuakeCon this year, and I had a lot of fun with it. I really liked it. I'm excited for the game. I know it'll probably be like something that I'll play every once in a while, like Enter the Gungeon or Binding of Isaac, where I won't put like hundreds of hours into it, but something that I'll play.
Unlike me.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's because you're a
Well,
cuck.
that's because you're a freak.
Yeah, it's because you're a freak. Now, a lot of people put hundreds of hours into Binding of Isaac and roguelikes. Strafe might be something that I put a lot of time into, but I thought the same thing of Wasted, and I really liked Wasted. I just kind of stopped playing it. Wasted's really fun, though. But
Well,
I went...
No, you go.
No, I went to QuakeCon this year, and I played Strafe, and I got to meet Stebby in person, and that was fun.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah!
You saw me.
I got him
We,
to do a sad dab. I got him
Oh,
to
yeah.
dab.
Quick,
Stab.
sad dab.
You gave him a big.
Uh,
You gave him a nice.
Edit-
I'm not going to
Brendan.
edit in sad dab. I'm not going to.
Brendan, edit in sad
Stebby.
dab. This is
Do
the
it.
high,
Edit it in.
this,
I will post it to the comments.
this is welcome to the high
At least
effort
link it into the
TrashHole
description.
podcast.
I don't want to
Link in
post
that
sad
sad
dab.
dab.
Stebby, people are
Yeah.
going to be
You don't, I
screaming.
will.
People are going to be screaming sad dab for ages.
Yeah,
They
sad
will.
damn.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we
I
want.
want this to be my legacy. I want my legacy to be me crying while dabbing. Not really though. I wasn't
Oh.
actually crying.
Oh,
It's a
God.
Only a little
picture.
bit.
You were crying a little bit. We
Yeah,
went
a
to
little bit.
we went to Denny's and it was like 1 in the
It was
morning.
a Diddy.
Yeah, no, all right. So we were at Denny's with my
You
girlfriend.
Didn't know it was at Denny's.
My
No!
girl.
Yeah.
Let
That's
me
even
was-
better.
let me explain.
Brendan, tell the story.
Okay,
Brendan,
so we
tell
were
the
at
story.
Denny's because my girlfriend and my roommate were hungry, and Stebby was also there with them, and so we went to Denny's with another one of my friends. And Stebby was freaking tired. He was like slurring his speech. He was like, and then James was calling him a hungry boy because they played a game and they played like a game like Catan, and he was hoarding all the food.
Yep.
So he was the hungry boy. And we went to Denny's and got food, and he was so tired. And I was just like, Stebby, do a dab. And he's just like, I don't want to. And I'm like, do it. Do the dab. Do it. And then he did it, and I took a picture of it. And it was pretty good. And he was just like half crying, half laughing because he was so tired. And he's like, I'm at that point where you can probably make me do anything, Brendan. And then I stopped it right there. I didn't make him do anything else, but
He wanted you to fuck his ass.
no.
He was implying.
Yeah, that was.
You
That's
can
what
make
you
me
were
do
playing, man.
anything you
How did you
want,
not
Brendan.
realize that?
We are
How
here
did you
at
not
Denny's.
pick up on the hints, Brendan?
Just go to behind the
Just
dumpster.
take me here in the Denny's parking lot.
Ah.
Let's go out. Let's go out. Let's go out behind the Denny's dumpster and do some dirty things.
There you go.
I'll give you a grand slam.
Put some sausage on your biscuit. Oh God. But more about QuakeCon. I got to play Strafe, and Strafe is really good. You should check it out. They have a commercial up, and I really, really liked it. I also got a seat in the BYOC at Quake, which is the bring your own computer area. It's a giant LAN party, and you bring your computer and you play video games for like 3 days. The convention is right next to it, so you can leave your computer, go check out the convention for a little bit, and then head back to your computer. I brought my computer, and I got to see a couple cool computers. I didn't take pictures because I'm dumb, but you can actually find some of these computers on the internet because a lot of people took a lot of pictures. One of them was featured in PC Gamer and a couple other sites. It was this full-sized Fallout 4 Nick Valentine mannequin made into a computer, and that was really cool. Another one I saw was this was this old style computer, and someone got a hat printed that said, it looked like the Donald Trump
Oh,
hat, and it said
jeez.
"Make Quakecon Great Again."
God.
And it was like a computer from 1996 with this hat on it, and I giggled at
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Oh
The
wait,
sleeper
was that
computers.
was that like the box? Was that like the box monitor?
With the CRT monitor and the big boxy
Yes.
computer, yeah, and
The,
it had
the
that.
fucking sleeper computers. Those are actually pretty cool. Like I've seen some really cool ones.
They're really neat. I also
Yeah.
the coolest thing I saw, not even the Nick Valentine statue wasn't as cool as this. This dude 3D printed a Nuka-Cola quantum machine and made it into his computer case. And then he put in he was telling me about this, and I don't know if this is he showed me. I don't know if this is how it actually works, but he told me he implanted an RFID chip in his hand, and to unlock his computer, he brought his hand up to his computer and just pushed his hand up a little bit. I didn't see him like press a button or anything. He just swiped his hand on the side of his computer, and his computer locked, and then he swiped it down, and then it unlocked, and that was really cool. That was
technology.
really
Okay,
cool.
for confirmation's sake, the Harambe Shrine.
Oh yes, the Harambe Shrine.
Oh man.
Someone got a cardboard cutout of a gorilla and put a bunch of foodstuffs into it. By the end of the night, that someone had cut out the eyes and put LED lights in it too, and then someone put a cigarette in its mouth, and it was a Harambe Shrine. At one point in the night, someone screamed "Dicks out for Harambe," and I got up from my computer and said, "Harambe's fucking dead." And a bunch of people just screamed, "Ah!"
Yeah, it was a scream of torment.
Because
I can still
You
hear it.
reminded
by the
them.
time QuakeCon started, the joke was dead, and I was just saying dicks out for Harambe because you know the joke's dead, so we gotta pay penance to the joke
Yeah.
because it's dead.
They also put like a picture of Harambe up on the big projector screen that they had at the last night where they tell you like all the shit happening at QuakeCon. And up there was just a picture of Harambe, because
Yep.
why not?
Yep, because why not? Do it for the jokes. You gotta do it. It's joke.
It's a
It's
joke.
joke.
Still haven't watched that. Don't plan on it though.
It's
Don't
joke.
watch.
No.
Don't watch Love Live. Love Live is bad.
Oh, wait, that fucking reminds me. Gotta find those pictures.
No.
Don't find.
I
those
gotta
pictures.
fiend
Those are
them.
bad.
No.
Brendan's not gonna post them anyway.
I'm not gonna post
I
them.
don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna put them in the thing. so
You're
you guys
disgusting.
Can see
No.
them.
Nope.
There you go.
Brendan or
Oh, I
Furby,
did actually see those. I saw them. Someone put teeth onto the Love Live characters, like real
Oh,
human
yeah.
teeth on
They
them.
gotta
Oh,
eat.
God,
They
yeah,
gotta
I
Because
eat.
they
remember
have
that.
to eat.
They're hungry. Feed them.
They
Hungry
hungry.
girls.
All right.
Hungry.
It's bad.
QuakeCon was really
I'm
cool.
very
I got a print of one of my favorite cartoons, Over the Garden Wall. If you haven't seen that cartoon, it's pretty good. It's a short series.
Oh God, I completely forgot about that.
It's got Elijah Wood in it. Elijah Wood does voice acting in it, and I really enjoyed it. I might go back and rewatch it at some point because it was nice. A bunch of my friends also went to see Suicide Squad, and a lot of them came back and said it was disappointing and boring. One of my friends who likes to
Oh,
argue
fuck.
with me for the sake of arguing tried to defend it to me, and I was just like, I'm not gonna go see
No.
it, dude. I don't care. I just am so set in my dislike for Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker. If we
Yeah,
got
no.
like a Joker movie, I might not hate it. But since this is a movie not about the Joker, why is the Joker really in it? It's about Harley Quinn, and the Joker canonically does not give a flying shit about Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is obsessed with the
No,
Joker.
he does not.
It's barely even about Harley Quinn. Like, it's mainly
Okay.
focused on fucking
Actually,
Deadshot.
Yeah, it's like Will Smith.
When Will Smith,
carried
when
that
Will
film.
Smith is in it, you know, well, he carried it and then kept dropping it along the way and kept picking it up and saying, "Oops, oops, oops." But
oops.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really say that. I guess I can't have an opinion on it because I haven't seen it yet. But from the trailers, I've seen all I wanted to see, and I've gotten the gist of the plot. I don't really care that much about it. I don't care
It's
enough. I
not
care
good.
enough. I care enough to say that it's bad, and I don't want to see it. But I don't care enough to actually go see it because I'm not a huge DC fan anyway. Let me be
Right.
honest. I like the Joker, but my favorite Joker is Mark Hamill's Joker.
Yep.
I want to see The Killing Joke. I need to see that at some point.
I've heard that it was okay.
I've heard it's pretty
I've-
all right.
Yeah, from what I heard, I don't remember who said it, but it's like, hey, it's actually just about Batgirl, and it's not great.
I hear that the actual parts about the Killing Joke were pretty okay, but there's like a first half that's focused on like Batgirl, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Nobody cares
Pretty
about
awful.
Batgirl until she becomes the Oracle anyway.
Yeah.
but that's
Nobody
the point.
cares. No, and then I was actually at Walmart the other day, and I almost picked up The Killing Joke on Blu-ray, and then I was like, But I also saw that Key and Peele's movie Keanu is out, and I want to see
Oh,
that
yeah.
too. I do want to
That's
see
a
that.
film too.
Gonna
I
watch that.
don't know anything. I do not know what it's about. I think it's there's a dog.
No,
or
there's a
cat
cat.
at some point.
The
Yeah, it's a
movie is about their cat, the
Meow.
cat Keanu, and Keanu gets like abducted by gangsters, and they have to go get him.
I thought you were about to
dude.
say gamers.
Gamers. He gets abducted by gamers, and they have to go to a death arcade and fight with Death Mario. And
Ice Cube is there.
And Matt Pat is there, and he's got
No, Ice
two
Cube
copies.
is
No,
Undertale.
shut up and
Ice
let me
Cube's-
make a joke. Matt Pat is there, and he's got 4 copies of Undertale, and they're all chained together in a giant Undertale nunchuck monstrosity, and he's trying to hit Key and Peele with his Undertale nunchucks. And Key shoots him with a real gun.
When Matt Pat dies for real.
And Matt Pat dies for real, not fake.
Oscar-worthy
2016.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
If you die in the game theory, you die in the real theory.
But that's just a theory.
Again.
A death theory.
There you
What's
go.
up, everybody?
Thanks for dying.
What's up, everybody? It's Matt Pat here. Today we're going to be figuring out if pasta is really good. But that's just a game theory.
Let's do this shit.
Let's do that. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. Today we're going to be discussing, let's do this.
As you
that's
can
my
clearly
asshole.
see from his asshole bones, and if you put a little finger in there, wiggle it around a little bit, you can see very clearly that Ness has very similar ass bones to Sans.
I bet Ness could probably fit about 4, maybe 5 fingers up his asshole. I don't know about more than 5 though. And I'm assuming that Sans, the skeleton from Undertale, could probably also fit about 4 or 5 fingers in his asshole. Depends kinda on if the skeleton actually has an asshole or if you're just fingering his pelvis.
He could probably put in 5 nipple spaghetti.
I don't know, Brendan. You
5
remember,
nipple spaghetti.
You remember
5 nipple
Busted?
spaghetti.
I would like 5.
Oh yeah, I
layers
remember
of nipple
Busted,
spaghetti.
where the fan fiction I read where Sans was trans Sans.
Oh.
What?
Sans trans.
Trans
Sans,
Sans.
Trans Sans.
Why isn't there a fan fiction
Okay,
where
trans.
Sans from Undertale is a Trans Am? And then someone fucks it in the
Well,
exhaust
you-
pipe.
Fuck the train.
Fuck the train.
Fuck the train. Fuck the train. Fuck the train. I don't know
Put your dick in the train.
Why do we want to fuck the
Dun,
train?
Dun, 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 dun,
Put your
dun,
dick
Because we
on
can.
the rails.
dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Dude,
dun, dun,
Dual
dun.
rail drifting.
I think that was the Mythbusters video where they were like, hey, if you pissed on the
You fuck the
electric
train?
rail, it kills you. No, I mean that
Oh.
too. That was another thing. Can you fuck the train? That was another myth.
Oh
that
yeah,
they busted.
Mythbusters. I remember the Mythbusters episode where they were like, "Can you fuck a train?" And they couldn't. Myth busted.
I mean, did
And
you
nut
see the
busted.
extended cut? Did you
There's
see the
no
extended
good
cut
way. Hello, I'm Adam Savage, and there's no good way to fuck a train.
now?
Or is there?
Or
Not with
is
that
there?
attitude.
Let's find out on today's episode of Mythbusters.
Train
Jamie-
busters.
Jamie
where they
Heinemann's
bust
gonna-
inside of trains.
There you go.
Because busting.
Mythbusters.
I'm gonna
Dude,
ride a
we're
train. I'm
nuts.
gonna ride a
It's
train
nuts.
in on that train.
That same
Ah,
wave from
fuck.
the
1
fucking-
second. Fuck.
no.
Sorry for the fucking. I realized that I pressed the space button, so we lost like 1 whole second of podcast.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
shit.
God.
Yeah, I
It
know.
probably wasn't anything. It was probably about trains.
We were talking about train fucking.
Yeah,
Literally-
talking about Jamie Heineman giving a
Fuck the train.
furry ride to a train. Thanks,
There you go.
Jamie.
You know, I was surprised when I went to Quakecon. I saw no fursuits.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, no fursuits.
Really?
Now that I think about it, I did
Wow.
not see one fursuit at all.
But now that
Were there
Harambe's
any
in Overwatch, we'll
cosplayers?
get plenty
There
of those.
were cosplayers.
There were like
But,
I
like-
did fucking see a gaggle of Homestuck cosplayers. I was like,
Oh,
why the
what
fuck
the
are you
fuck?
at? Why the fuck are you at a video game
What are you at
convention?
Quakecon?
Yeah, like I understand an anime
nice.
convention, like an anime
Oh,
convention, a comic convention, but
Speaking of Homestuck,
QuakeCon. Speaking of
I had
Homestuck,
fucking Fago.
Speaking of- Homestuck.
Had some fucking Fago.
Is Homestuck a
yeah.
Juggalo sponsored concert? Sorry, Juggalo sponsored webcomic.
It's a fucking reference because I read it for like a total of like 2 days and I didn't like it. And all I remember was that there was a person that drank Fago.
There's a character that drinks a lot of Fago because they're a Juggalo.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Good for them. I'm proud of them. And by proud, I mean get away from me.
The first for me, Homestuck. I think I read the first part before they got to the trolls, and I didn't hate it, and I was pretty alright with it. And I was like, "What's all the hubbub?"
4 acts before they get to the trolls.
Yeah, the first part, the acts before the trolls, all of the acts before the trolls. I read. I remember reading up to the trolls and then seeing the troll speak and saying, "Fuck this, I'm out."
That sounds about right.
Why make it purposeful? Like I never understood why he made it purposefully harder to read the troll parts. Like I've heard you can get used to it, but I can't get used to it. I always had trouble reading Leet speak too, and it's not like I have dyslexia or anything. I read pretty fast. I have a really nice reading level. Let me be very clear with you. I read pretty good.
At a 6th grade level.
I read at a
Good level.
6th grade level. Let's be fair, that's about
I
better
like to
than
read the 6th
60%.
graders and then-
I like to
no,
read.
that's actually true.
My stand Heaven's Door, I use it to read 6th graders.
Oh yeah, dude. Sounds good.
That was a Joe joke.
That was a Joe joke.
That was a good Joe joke.
Indeed
That was a pretty good Joe joke.
I've never read a JoJo in my entire life.
Neither
It's
have I.
good.
I've
You should read
never.
the
I don't
JoJo.
even. I haven't.
There's a
watched
guy in
JoJo.
JoJo who has the stand Heaven's Door. It's the ability to like, fucking basically turn people into paper and read their life stories.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
dude.
then you can write down
Yeah.
things in the books, and then they're afflicted by that. Like, you cannot hurt the stand user, so then you just can't hurt the stand user.
I like how that bit, like that little like bit ended where he tried to spoilers, where he tried to get Josuke to read his manga, because the way the stand activates is if you see the manga that he's writing, then you're trapped by Heaven's
Oh,
Door.
that's
Yeah.
Rohan.
Rohan,
stand.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
Rohan's
that's
stand.
Rohan.
Yeah, so Josuke doesn't get hurt by the stand because Rohan makes fun of his hair, and he's so blinded by rage that he doesn't read the manga. He just punches right through it and punches him in the face.
Exactly. It's so good.
It's so fucking good. So
And then
fucking
Rohan,
good.
like from then on out, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just not gonna mess with Josuke anymore.
he's still a dick,
Yeah.
but he's just like, I'm just
Like,
not
he's
gonna mess
still a
with
dick.
Josuke.
But he's just like, yeah, I'll just be friends with you, Koichi. Like, don't worry, I'm not gonna mess with you anymore because I don't want Josuke to beat the shit out of me.
Still
That's
talking about video games. Quantum Break's coming to PC on Steam, and I'm pretty happy.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Tell
the
us a little bit about
game
that
based
game,
on the
Brendaniel.
show, based on the.
Quantum Break is the new game by Remedy Software, who made the original Max Payne games and also Alan Wake. Quantum Break
Oh, yeah.
follows this dude who gets time travel powers, and he tries to. He also has an evil villain, and the evil villain also has time travel powers. And I think the coolest thing about the game is after each kind of major consequence, I guess, you play as the villain for a little bit, and you make a choice as the villain out of like 2 possible choices that changes how the game goes from that point. So like there's something that'll make it like you get 2 choices, like the evil choice and the even more evil choice from what I played, because I only got up
Oh.
to the first part. The first choice, spoilers again, because I played it on Xbox One for a little bit. The first choice is like, do you silence this victim? And later down the line, you can see the consequences of people getting even more angry at you. But silencing this victim is good short term, but not good long term for you. Or do you pay this victim off, and it's not good short term for you because the protagonist gets more info right away, and he'll become more knowledgeable about what's going on right away. So he'll figure your plot out faster. But later down the line, it's better off for you because the town won't get as angry because you just
Yeah.
turn that person into a spokesperson for you, instead of killing them and silencing them. You silence them with money.
Yeah.
Later down the
Very
line, they
nice.
still help the protagonist, but it's better long term because a lot of people don't join the protagonist later on in the game, I believe. And that was really cool. And then there's a TV show that goes along with it. And
Yeah.
you watch an episode of the TV show after each major kind of act, after each major choice, that kind of shows you the repercussions of your choice. So there's, I believe
So
there's...
it's kind of like what Alan Wake was trying to do.
yeah, pretty
but-
much. It's
I was I was thinking more of Defiance, because Defiance was a show on Sci-Fi that also had like a video game to go along with it.
It's kind of different from that because the show is directly
had an
affected.
MMO.
Yeah, yeah. But the show in Quantum Break is in the game. It's the episode streams after you beat an act, which I wish they just downloaded the episodes to your computer with the game, but then the game file will probably be huge. So it streams the show to you after you make that choice as the villain. That's what happened anyway for me, and then I believe the episode will change depending on which choices you pick.
That's interesting.
It's a really neat concept. The game is pretty lukewarm in how it handles in the story. I'd say it's about a 7 or 8 out of 10, but my time with it was pretty fun. I just wish it was at a higher frame rate so that I could enjoy it more.
Oh, yeah.
Because
And
I'm a frame rate
PC.
snob. Yep, so it's
PC,
coming to PC. It's already on PC. It's on the Windows Store, but it's coming to Steam now. So I don't
Yeah,
have to buy it
Steam-
through the Windows Store.
Is like that. It looks actually nice. Like it's a good looking game, but that's all I really know.
It's pretty and it handles pretty well. The only problem I have is, like I said, it's a little lukewarm. It's not anything really spectacular. It doesn't blow anybody out of the water. It's like Alan Wake. It's good. It stands on its own 2 legs. It's a solid, like, to use a rating system, it's a solid 7 out of 10. And I know rating systems suck dick, but 7 out of 10 is above average. It's not like blow your mind good, but it's a good game. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I wish I want to beat it so I can have like a full like opinion on it. But what I have played of it so far, it was pretty fun. I really did like it. I liked it a lot.
Liked it. That's a third-person shooter, right?
And you get time powers and shit.
Nice.
Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, YouTube drama stuff. Mariana Joyce, who gives a shit
Oh,
about
yeah.
that?
Ooh.
I don't. I haven't
Oh,
been
hey,
following
Yeah,
that at
next
all.
subject.
She was getting abducted and attacked by like aliens or some shit,
By
and then
ISIS?
oops,
Yeah.
big surprise. No, it wasn't. It was actually a big hoax. Who gives a shit?
And she's
Next,
probably mentally ill in some way.
probably. I
Yeah.
would not put it above or below or fucking
Instead of
whatever.
messing with her, I'd
Or
rather be
vertically or
mentally
diagonally
chill.
or pretty sneaky sis.
Yeah. Up, down, left, right. Open the door. Get on the floor. Everybody just suck my dick.
New Pokemon game's coming out soon. Everyone's pretty pumped about
Mm.
that. I like
So how
how
you
they're.
feeling about the new Pokemans?
I at first I hated a lot of them, and then I started to kind of grow on a lot of them. Like the stupid fucking dragon thing. I was like, oh, super fucking dragon. But the more I look at it, the more I like it. And I think I'll enjoy Sun and Moon as long as it doesn't handhold you like a motherfucker like X and Y did.
Mhm.
Because X and Y, my problem with X and Y is all the handholding. And the fact that
Yeah.
experience share is so goddamn broken. I hate that. I like it because it's easier, but I hate it because it's easier.
Yeah.
It sounds like weird and hypocritical, but like
No, it's like
I
it's,
get you.
It was easier to manage, but it was babying you basically.
Mhm.
So it just wasn't great.
and I don't mind being babied because I'm stupid when it comes to video games, but it took the enjoyment out of the grinding in the game. And Pokemon, I don't really enjoy grinding, and that's why I don't play a lot of JRPGs anymore. I try really hard to play JRPGs and enjoy them, but I just can't get into them. Pokemon was a big one for me as a kid, and now it's like, I believe we were talking about this in the last podcast because we were talking about Pokemon Go. We talked about Sun and Moon a little bit. Mostly, my enjoyment for Pokemon hinges on whether Sun and Moon is fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that they're not going to have gyms in it. I like the new Pokemon designs a lot. The Sandcastle was stupid at first, and then I was like, okay, I actually do really like this.
Wait, there's not gonna be any gyms in
No,
Sun
they're
and Moon?
trials.
No,
Oh.
They're called trials.
like this confirmed the Chinese link, the leak. But basically, you're going to be forming your own Pokemon League apparently. So you're just going to island to do these different trials with these different island captains, and
Oh.
eventually you'll be able to form your own Pokemon League after that.
Oh, that actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it's different enough from the norm that it's really interesting, but it's not too far off that we're like, huh, this could have been an entirely different game.
Mhm.
And all the Alola form stuff is really fun.
I
Like-
can't believe that they had never thought of taking old Pokemon and giving them different forms based on like regions. I can't.
Yeah, because that's actual evolution, like evolutionary change.
Now we don't talk about scientific theory on this podcast,
Nope.
Ezzy. This is a Jesus
This-
podcast.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
this is a
magic
good
science.
Christian. This is a good Christian podcast. Don't you
Good old
fucking
wholesome
wholesome
Christianity podcast.
This is the Christian trash hole,
go-
Yeehaw.
welcome to the Christian.
right next to the Denny's
Yeehaw.
parking lot.
Right next, we host this podcast in a dumpster on the Denny's parking lot.
Right next to the place where me and Brendan, in the eyes of God, had heterosexual sex together.
Jesus watching.
And then
With
at the end,
Jesus watching with a little
as you
bag of
orgasmed, you
popcorn
did a
next to
sad
him.
dab, and then
I want to shoot myself in the fucking head.
But
Same.
the Alola
Yeah,
forms are
you're not
really
alone on
cool.
that.
I like a lot of the new Pokemon. I do think that Wishy-Washy's like form thing is really dumb. Like, they could have just made that
isn't it
into an
just
evolution.
an evolution? But like, it's just a bunch of them get together. But isn't
Yeah,
that just
after a certain
Magnemite
level,
and
like-
Magneton?
Yeah, like
Honestly,
after a
I
certain
know-
level, you throw it out and it automatically goes into school form. But apparently, if it takes enough damage, it goes back to its single form, which makes it's like then I would never want this Pokemon to get hit at all.
There wasn't like like what about Doug Trio? If you hit Doug Trio really hard, would he just turn back into a Diglett? Because Doug Trio is just
Into
three
three
of them.
Diglets.
3 Diglets. You got a tri-fight on your hands.
Okay, I know I'm the outlier here, but I'm sick of the gimmicks in Pokemon games.
Yeah,
depends
it's- I
on-
agree.
It's-
I agree that gimmick is really dumb.
It depends on the gimmick.
Like we've had Mega Evolution and
Well, I mean, the new gimmick now is Z moves, which are just a
Yeah,
fifth
and,
super move that you can only use once.
I'm just sick of the gimmicks. Like, can I just go back to catching Pokemon?
Well, that's
don't
always
care.
there. That
Yeah.
is literally in every game. Like, what are they going to be like? It's like,
Ugh.
there's nothing new, folks. Just another 100 and something Pokemon for you to catch.
And that's why people
Bye.
didn't like Black and White 2.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's
Because
why no one
it's-
bought Black and White 2, and no one really bought Diamond. Well, no one bought
Fuck you,
Platinum.
I love
Platinum was fucking
fourth
amazing. Don't
generation.
even.
Platinum was
fucking
great. Platinum's probably one of my favorites. I'm just saying,
I
no,
still
no
have
one
my
bought
copy.
it.
Don't say no one
Platinum.
bought Platinum. So many people bought Platinum. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I still have my copy of Platinum. I need to play it again.
No, the last.
Make a Nuzlocke. Make a YouTube channel
Ah,
for
dude,
Pokemon
yeah,
Platinum Nuzlocke.
Brendaniel Nuzlocke. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Take a gun,
And you can name
put
you
it
can
in
name
my
all
mouth,
your Pokemon after
shoot
us in the
myself
trash hole.
in the mouth, and then a bullet will come out the back of my fucking head, fly through the wall, and probably kill my girlfriend. Then we'll ascend to heaven together.
Oh, dude, that's poetic.
I'm
That's
gonna.
Beautiful,
romantic.
Brendan.
I'm gonna take a
You could
knife
be the
and
next
carve a hole
Elliot
in my
Rodger.
chest, and then I'm gonna put someone else's heart in my chest, and then I'll have 2 hearts.
I
You'll
just
have
price of
like
one.
3 hearts.
I don't know. I've noticed it comes when to already existing Pokemon where it's like, you know this Pokemon, but here it is in a new form.
See,
But here it is,
Yeah, but,
wearing
like,
a hat.
They made like
Yeah.
all the Pokemon that we never really used in the first gen like viable. Like no one like everyone loves Pikachu, but no one gave a shit about Raichu. And now it's like, hey, here's a newer Raichu that's psychic
That's- I
type, and
think-
it surfs on its tail.
I think
it's
I
really
think
cool.
I think more so I don't think the Alola stuff is a gimmick. I think that's a new thing that I like. I don't find I never really was a fan of the Mega Evolutions, mostly because it's
Yeah,
literally
me
just
neither.
Digimon.
yeah.
You
It's-
press a
but-
button and
But for me,
your
I love
3DS
Digimon, so I'm
lags.
fine.
Well, I love Digimon too, but not in my Pokemon. It's like taking all right.
It's not
it's
chocolate
like
in
all
your
right.
peanut butter. It's like pubic hair in your peanut
No.
butter.
Because then you're calling Digimon pubic hair. It's like taking marshmallow fluff and taking a handful of marshmallow fluff and then dipping your hand into a jar of peanut butter and then slathering it all over your face without getting any in your mouth and just sitting there for about 10 minutes while it dries.
I can't possibly do that ever. I'll die.
Is this why you don't live with your parents anymore? Because you're mentally insane?
No, I don't live with my
Yes.
parents because I don't know. I'm
It's
an
not
adult.
peanut butter. It's shit.
It's not peanut butter. It's DiGiorno.
Oh no! Why do you have DiGiorno in my peanut butter?
Dude, peanut butter pizza.
No,
Peanut butter
it's not
podcast.
DiGiorno,
You got
it's
peanut butter in my
Totino.
DiGiorno.
Hey
You
there,
got
guys.
DiGiorno
Welcome
in my
to the-
peanut butter.
Totino's.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the
Fuck
Peanut
you,
Butter
Julia.
Party podcast.
Hey,
It's the
actually, it's the
peanut butter
pizza.
gaming.
It's the pizza party podcast because I still got 3 slices to go, baby.
Oh shit, that
we're
reminds
getting,
me.
we're
I have
getting
pizza
banned.
downstairs.
We're gonna get
Pizza.
banned from YouTube.
Here we go.
Yep, here we go.
Get banned from the internet. We broke the
Hammer's
internet.
coming down.
Someone
Break
please,
the internet.
someone just, I know someone's gonna do this. Wire, someone please Photoshop my head onto Kim Kardashian's ass cheeks.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Nice.
And
That's
then
a very
Photoshop a
simple
Thanks.
pizza on
request,
top of her
but
head.
I'd like that.
Yeah, break the internet.
I have the fucking vector of your face that I got that one time.
You have a vector
Oh,
of my
God.
face.
I did, I think.
Oh my
I
god.
can make a
still have it.
vector of your face from the one that Fran uses for her edits.
No.
Because remember, I used
Put
it
in the
for
description
fucking
the
Kylo Ren.
custom pictures.
I'm
we
not
made
gonna
of you.
link anything in the description because they'd rather put a gun to my head and shoot.
Come on, people want to see
Do
you
it.
as the mask.
No,
And
I
Nigel Thornberry.
don't ever want to see that picture ever again for
What,
as
the
long as I
mask?
live. I don't want to see
Would you
either of
rather
those
be Nigel
pictures.
Thornberry than?
I don't want to
than
see
Jim
either of
Carrey?
those pictures. All right, for clarity's sake, Ezzy's girlfriend photoshopped a picture of me to make it look like I'm Nigel Thornberry, and then she photoshopped the same picture to make me look like Jim Carrey's The Mask. And I just, they're really great edits.
And you
they're
gave her
really
the go
good.
ahead to do another edit.
And
What is wrong
and
with
I
you?
said she could, but I hate them so much because I'm incredibly insecure, and looking at them just makes me even more insecure.
No, she loved doing it because she's like, man,
I don't
this
care
really
if
looks
she
like
loved
Jim
doing
Carrey.
it. It just makes me feel even more insecure because I look like Jim Carrey fucked a caveman.
There you go. Confirmed.
It reminds me of the fact that I look like Jim Carrey
You did like
fucked
such
a
a
caveman.
perfect like Jim Carrey face. We're just like, no, we have to make you into the mask now.
I only have 2 facial expressions: staring blankly and creepy smile. I
Yeah,
don't know how to
Apparently
look in
creepy smile
pictures.
equals Jim Carrey's the mask.
I don't know how to look in pictures. I don't know how to take fucking selfies or take pictures of myself because all I do is stare blankly or fucking creepy smile. Those are the only 2 things I can do.
Yeah. Same.
Oh man, like those first couple selfies you took with me.
Oh
That were
yeah,
glorious.
that were really bad because it was. I just got out of a 12-hour. I just got done with a 12-hour drive, and then I was like, "Hey, Stebby," and Stebby was like,
Complain to me when you
Ren.
have to like drive for 24 hours.
"No,
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
God, that was awful to go to Maine.
your suffering does not make my suffering any less sufferingable. Don't tread on me." Basically,
what
basically, what happened is Seabuff is a giant racist.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He didn't even say anything.
We were just trying to have an adult conversation. He just kept saying the N-word for whatever
He
reason.
just kept saying it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kept
dude, I
saying
had a lot of
Nazi. Kept
pent-
Kept saying
Nazi.
Nazi.
I had a lot of
Yeah.
pent-up
I remember
aggression.
there was a video that I did recently. It was that it was that script generator video, and I said the word, and I'm gonna say it now, knickers. I said
Huh.
knickers, like for underwear. And the minute I was going through editing it in Premiere, and I re-listened to it, I'm like, oh god, that sounds like I'm saying the N-word. Well, the text is on the screen. People are gonna comment this no matter what I do. I give up.
Right.
I'm just not going to deal with it. I'm just not going to re-record it. I'm just going to see the comments, and I'm going to know they're coming. And then they came, and I was like, all right. Yeah. Okay. I expected this. I knew what was going to happen.
Internet sensation Brendaniel is a racist.
Internet sensation Brendaniel is racist because I said so. Because I live in a hug box. I live in a fucking hug box. I live in a fucking
Safe
hug box.
space.
My safe space.
He's dying.
Is that a cup?
Yeah, it's a cup. I'm speaking into a cup.
No, it's a box.
I have-
He lived in a box.
I'm like right down the middle between offensive and like social justice warrior. I'm kind of in the middle of the road here on a lot
Yeah,
of that
it's called
stuff.
being moderate.
It's called being moderate, yeah. Because I don't like to say offensive things just to be offensive, but I'll make an offensive joke just because it's a joke. But I don't like to
It's
say
comedy.
offensive things just because they're offensive, because yeah, it devalues
You don't like to go for the
stuff.
shock value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right, shut the fuck up because I am someone who goes for the shock value sometimes because Dipper goes to Taco Bell. But
Yeah.
it's a gray area
Oh.
because yes on some things and no on other things.
I mean, even Dipper goes to Taco Bell was too much for you.
Yeah, I just that story is such a fucking mess.
It is.
Uh,
It's a glorious mess. I guess.
No,
It is.
no.
Like, it's like a train.
Stebby, no.
It's like a train wreck with hundreds dead. Just every time you look over.
Would
more
you say
people
it's
are
like
dead.
it's like fucking a train wreck?
Oh,
Jamie,
fuck train.
It's like as soon as you see a train wreck about to happen, you just take off all your clothes and just
It's-
jump penis in.
Dick first.
How did
Yeah.
you know? How did you know that carnage is my fetish? Not like people dying and stuff. No, the symbiote carnage from Spider-Man
Yeah,
is my
I was
fetish.
about to say Spider Boy.
I want to get some of that goop on my dick. Is anybody else excited for the standalone Spider-Man movie whenever that happens?
Don't you mean
maybe.
standalone Spider-Man game? Because
No,
I think
both.
Yeah,
movies
that's
and
right.
games are very different things.
No,
That's
there's
also true.
there's going to be a standalone Spider-Man movie and there's going to be a standalone
Oh.
Spider-Man game. Because did you see Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or don't.
Oh, yeah, that's
wait,
right.
don't you mean
Sorry,
Civil
yes,
War?
Civil War. That's the one I meant. Yeah, the other Captain America movie, Red Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's there, and he's in a big suit of iron, and he flies around, and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Red Skull. Hey guys."
I think you're talking about Iron Man.
No,
man, this is
it's Red Skull. He's a Nazi millionaire who lives and has to suit like a billion suits of iron.
Okay, yeah, that's Red Skull. DC superhero Red Skull.
Yep. Anyways,
No, sorry,
yeah,
let me make that.
Spider-Man was in that.
Image Comics superhero Red Skull.
Don't wanna get the
Moving
fanboys
picture
all
hero.
uppity.
What?
Moving picture superhero. Red
Yes.
Skull.
I don't know what I was talking about. I lost complete track. I went off the
Spider-Man.
rails. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Insomniac has that new game coming out, and that looks like a lot of fun because Insomniac generally does really good, especially after playing Sunset Overdrive, which a lot of people didn't play. The movement system in Sunset Overdrive is really cool, so I have high hopes for at least how Spider-Man controls in the new Spider-Man game. The story will probably be either if it's based off the movie, it'll be shit. There's a chance for it to be shit. Even if it's not based off the movie, all you got to do is put the Vulture in there, and all he's got to do is be like, "I'm the Vulture," and then I'll be like, "Sweet."
Yep.
Oh,
I
apparently
want
Infinity
Spider-Man
War won't be
2
split
and not
into two
Spider-Man
movies.
I want Spider-Man to beat the shit out of more crippled old people, and that's why I want to see him fight the Vulture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see the
You
Vulture.
guys,
I want him to beat up an
Spider-Man
old
2.
man with a crooked nose.
Spider-Man 2 is really good. If you haven't played it, Spider-Man 2, what's wrong with you?
I
Get fucked.
I really like the Spider-Man game on GameCube where you could play as the Green Goblin with a cheat code. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the first Spider-Man.
I like
that
the
one
the
was
Spider-Man game in which
okay,
it's Tony
not
Hawk, but you
great,
get to
though.
play as Spider-Man.
I like the Spider-Man game where Spider-Man takes a gun, breaks into your house, and shoots you 4 times in the chest, watches you bleed out, and then bakes a bowl of spaghetti in your microwave.
At least I don't have to pay
Who
student
bakes
loans.
spaghetti? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh man, topical.
Man, Ezzy.
Student loans, topical for a billion years, 100 years.
100
Oh,
billion
I-
years.
1,000
fucking
years.
Spaghetti.
Fuck you. If you eat spaghetti, get
Fuck
fucked.
This
And
is-
everyone listening to the podcast, if you're eating spaghetti right now, I hate you.
Yeah, eat a
fucking
real
hope.
Italian dish like pizza.
I hope that fucking spaghetti slips into your nostril and like you can't breathe. Nothing but like oregano and like tomatoes for like half a second. I hope
Then you can rega go to hell.
All right,
Rick.
I want to die. Thank you guys so much for watching the TrashHole podcast. I'm gonna end it now because we've run out of things to talk about because we're not interesting people.
I'm very tired. Yeah, Furpy, play us out.
No, don't
No,
play us
don't.
out.
Play us
Don't do
out,
it.
Furpy, don't play us
Furpy,
out.
don't do it.
Don't play us
Furpy,
out.
don't do it.
Furpy.
Furpy. Ah!